Bitcoin just dipped below $90,000 for the first time since the beginning of 2025, and we are actually below 2025 prices. It looks like Bitcoin is now beginning its bear run, and I'm going to show you where I expect the price of Bitcoin to go over these next few months and where I expect the actual bottom to occur for Bitcoin so we can begin accumulating as we expect the next bull run to actually push Bitcoin above $500,000 per coin. Smash a like and subscribe, tap the notification bell, and leave a comment if you do enjoy today's video, and let me know where you do believe the current price of Bitcoin will bottom and where we will top in the next bull run. What I do want to focus on just quickly is that this 50 moving average, this blue line on the chart, has really acted as a strong support for this entire bull run. We've never broken below more than just a couple of percent. And here, for the first time, prices actually dropped more than 12% below that EMA, or actual simple moving average, I'll correct. And you can see here the price of Bitcoin actually went $89,600. So we've right now cracked that $90,000 zone. And I do believe that we will have a strong bounce to the upside in the next couple of weeks to next few days. So we're definitely hitting a bottom, a local bottom, especially on the daily. Since this major bearish candle that began on the 10th of October, we've really started the overall bearish trend. One of the first spots I expect Bitcoin to push up and retest is we can use this Fibonacci retracement. And what I'm going to do is extend it from the all-time high at $126,000 per coin. I'm actually expecting right now that this $89,000 will act as a short-term low, and we will see higher prices for Bitcoin in the next few days to next few weeks. We can see the main area that I'm going to be focusing on, the 0.618 and 0.5. This is a high volume zone for Bitcoin to come and retest. It actually lines up at around $107,000 to $112,000 per Bitcoin. This is where I'm expecting the next push to go, this to be the absolute bottom for the next few months. And now we actually travel quite high and come above the $100,000 per coin. But I am expecting this to be a potential great zone to look for shorts on Bitcoin, because it's quite clear that we have began the bear trend as we've broken well below this long-term EMA that's never been broken in the last 3 years. But when we also scroll out on the weekly, because I want to get this entire bull trend for Bitcoin, here it began at the end of 2022, the beginning of 2023, and here it looks like we have topped 126,000 on the 10th of October. So that whole bull run, let's use the Fibonacci retracement. Let's measure from this absolute low all the way to the expected top of the bull run. And we do see a major support zone for the 0.5 at 70,000, and also the 0.618 at around $58,000, $57,000 per coin. Now, I do expect this to act as a high probability zone for Bitcoin to begin its bull run in this next cycle. So as price travels down between this 0.5 and 618 is really where I'm going to be purchasing long-term Bitcoin, adding that long-term Bitcoin to my stack, and just beginning to accumulate Bitcoin, because I'm expecting this to be the local bottom, which will occur in 2026. Begin stacking Bitcoin at this price. So I am expecting Bitcoin to hit around $500,000 per coin in the next bull run. Smash a like and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, because I'll be bringing out that future video. But right here, what I'm really focusing on is grabbing long-term Bitcoin at the overall best prices. Why I do believe this zero point 0.5 also lines up is because we have this major load around $75,000 per coin. What we'll see is if price gets around this area, around that 75 to 80,000, a lot of people will be placing their stop right below this low and saying, well, if the bull trend is going to continue, we won't break below that low. We do find, if you've actually been following my channel for a long time, you would know that that is a high probability zone for traders to come and look for trades, actually swipe out a lot of shorts or a lot of stop losses that are in that area, and then we continue the bull trend. Not only that, why I'm saying this is a high probability zone is because of my support to resistance flip strategy that I'm continuously trying to teach you, because it does have that high probability. Where do we see the last bull trend actually occurring? We see back in 2021, we topped at around $60,000 per Bitcoin. And where did we also have quite a strong resistance? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, even 5 times before we finally got that explosion above the old all-time high. So this is a very high probability zone to expect traders to begin accumulating. Not only that, it lines up perfectly with the 0.5 to 618. What we will find is these initial resistance points, now that they've been broken well above, we went from 60 to 120. This zone is a high probability zone to begin to look for trades. As price comes back, we've got the 0.5, 0.618, and we can even look, if we scroll into the chart, we do find a fair value gap on Bitcoin at around 40,000 to 52,000. So we see 3 bars, or 2 major bullish bars. See this major first bullish bar right here, second major bullish trend bar right there. And then what we're mainly focusing on, you see this third tiny little bar, this never actually entered into the region of this first bullish bar. And we see we do have a very small fair value gap. Price tried to come in right at the entry at the top, but we actually need a small break of structure at around that $50,000 per Bitcoin. So at around this $50,000 to $60,000 per coin, we're getting a lot of confluence with old resistance points now potentially acting as support. We've got the 0.50618 Fibonacci level, and we also have this fair value gap, which shows if price was to come down here, a lot of traders would look for trades, would look for accumulation here, and would look for a continued trend to the upside. Last thing we can do is when we actually look at the last bullish trend. So I'm going to use this Fibonacci retracement to see what happened in the last bullish trend and how this can apply to the next trend to the upside. So we're going to go from the absolute bottom in 2018, all the way to the top in 2021. I'm just going to extend this across and always using this top right here. And where do we see the price of Bitcoin actually rising to? You see Bitcoin rise well above the 0.618. So in between the 0.618 and the 1.618 is where the overall price of Bitcoin reached during this bull run. And let's do the same Fibonacci calculation. Go from the low in 2022 or beginning of 23 to this current high at 126,000. And now we see the actual 0.618 lining up at around $200,000 per coin, and even the 1.618 lining up at around this $300,000 per Bitcoin. So that would be quite a strong play. Let's say we're able to accumulate Bitcoin at $60,000, and we do expect it to push to a minimum of 200,000. Let's look at the type of returns we could expect. It looks like around a 250% gain, potentially even up to this $300,000 per Bitcoin, which would even give us around 400 to 450% gains. So looking further into our calculations, it looks like around $200,000 to $300,000 per Bitcoin would be the next push for the next bull run. Right now, I am expecting a strong push to the upside. As I said, Bitcoin just dipped for the first time in many months into this $89,000 region. We do have a high probability zone around this 0.5, but also this strong supportive structure. We actually supported 3 times in this zone right here, this high volume zone, before price broke below, used that as the retest, and then continued the overall trend. Definitely expecting higher prices to come in the next few weeks. Smash the subscribe so you stay up to date with all of those future videos. Leave a comment, tap the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to check out all the links in the video description.